Shalom, welcome to my video. Today I was watching one of the videos from the elder from South Carolina camp. I think it was South Carolina 08, something like that. Elder Naka Zakpa. And he suggested that I read Hebrews 11 as one of the precepts he got from his edification today. But I like Hebrews 11. I like Hebrews. Today I'm just going to read from the King James Version, and I'm going to read the Good News Translation. So I'm just going to read one chapter today. So with that, I'm going to get right into it. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Kol Halom Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Wahab Kwal Kadash. Our praises, honor, and glory and power to Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, our Lord and Savior. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. Much respect to the prophets and teachers of Great Millstone that we through spirit cling to in order to learn the new song, rightfully dividing the word to qualify to escape the day of the Lord's visitation on Great Babylon. Great respect to fellow believers, to Yakim and Akwa, who is the remnant of Israel, which includes 144,000 and 1/3 mixed multitude promised mercy and salvation from our Lord. Now, as I said, today when I was listening to the elder brother teach, there's so much edification that be pouring out from the teachers, not just the elders, but all the prophets and teachers of Great Millstone. I mean, from the littlest to the giantess, and those words don't make any sense, but I did it on purpose. It doesn't matter when you listen to them, you walk away with some edification, a little piece, a little bit more than you had when you first started. So you gain an ounce where there was no ounce before. So I really enjoy listening to the brothers preach. But anyway, without that, let's get right into it. Let me share my screen with you. All right. The triumphs of faith. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. But by faith Abel offered unto the Most High a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, the Most High testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. But by faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because the Most High had translated him. For before his translation he had this testimony, that he pleased the Most High. But without faith it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. By faith Noah, being warned of the Most High of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. By faith Abraham, which he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out, not knowing whither he went. By faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. For he looked for a city which hath foundations, whose builder and maker is the Most High. Through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed, and was delivered of a child, which was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. Therefore sprang there even of one, and him as good as dead, so many of the stars of the sky in the multitude, so many of the stars in the sky in multitude, and as the sand which is by the sea shore innumerable. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, that having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. For they that such things declared plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they might have had opportunity to have returned. But now they desire a better country, that is, an heavenly. Wherefore the Most High is not ashamed to be called their power, for he hath prepared them for a city. For he hath prepared for them a city. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, and he that received the promises offered up his only son, or whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called, according that the Most High was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure. But by faith Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. By faith Jacob, when he was dying, blessed both sons of Joseph, and worshiped, leaning upon his top of his staff. By faith Joseph, when he died, made mention of the departing of the children of Israel, and gave commandment concerning his bones. By faith Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents, because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandments. By faith Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Most High than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, esteeming the reproach of Amasiah greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. Through faith he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn should touch him. By faith they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, which the Egyptians, assaying to do, were drowned. By faith the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days. By faith the harlot Rahab perished not with them that believed not, when she had received the spies with peace. And what should I more say? For the time would fail me to tell of Gideon, and of Barak, and of Samson, and of Jephthah, of David also, and Samuel, and of the prophets, who through faith subdued kings, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouth of lions, quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, out of wickedness were made strong, waxed valiant in faith, turned to flight the armies of the aliens. Women received their dead raised to life again, and others were tortured, not accepting deliverance, that they might obtain a better resurrection. And others had a trial of cruel mockings and scourgings, yea, moreover, of bonds and imprisonment. They were stoned, they were sawn asunder, were tempted, were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheepskins and goatskins, being destitute, afflicted, tormented, of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and in mountains and in dens and caves of the earth. These all, having obtained a good report through faith, receive not the promise. The Most High having provided some better things for us, that they without us should not be made perfect. It's a beautiful thing to be a Hebrew Israelite. When other nations read this, I wonder what are they saying, or do they just skip over it altogether? Because it's obvious that it doesn't pertain to them. But this Bible was hijacked. I wouldn't be surprised if they fitted their way in and use this chapter addressed as if it was addressed to everyone, and that Hebrews is just the author. But okay, let's get into it with the Good News Translation. Hebrews 11:1. To have faith is to be sure of the things we hope for, to be certain of things we cannot see. It was by their faith that people of ancient times won the Most High's approval. It is by faith that we understand that the universe was created by the Most High's word, so that what can be seen was made out of what cannot be seen. It was faith that made Abel offer to the Most High a better sacrifice than Cain's. Through his faith, he won Most High's approval as a righteous man, because the Most High himself approved of his gifts. By means of his faith, Abel still speaks, even though he is dead. It was faith that kept Enoch from dying. Instead, he was taken up to the Most High, and nobody could find him because the Most High had taken him up. The scripture says that before Enoch was taken up, he pleased the Most High. No one could please the Most High without faith, for whoever comes to the Most High must have faith that the Most High exists and rewards those who seek him. It was faith that made Noah hear the Most High's warnings through things in the future that he could not see. He obeyed the Most High and built a boat in which he and his family were saved. As a result, the world was condemned, and Noah received from the Most High the righteousness that comes by faith. It was faith that made Abraham obey when the Most High called him to go out to a country which the Most High had promised to give him. He left his own country without knowing where he was going. By faith, he lived as a foreigner in the land that the Most High had promised him. He lived in tents, as did Isaac and Jacob, who received the same promise from the Most High. For Abraham was waiting for the city which the Most High had designed and built, the city with permanent foundations. It was faith that made Abraham able to become a father, even though he was too old and Sarah herself could not have children. He trusted the Most High to keep his promise. Though Abraham was practically dead, from this one man came as many descendants as there are stars in the sky, as many as numberless grains of sands on the seashore. It was in faith that all these persons died. They did not receive the things the Most High had promised, but from a long way off they saw them and welcomed them and admitted openly that they were foreigners and refugees on earth. Those who say such things make it clear that they are looking for a country of their own. They did not keep thinking about the country they had left. If they had, they would have had the choice to return. Instead, it was a better country they longed for, the heavenly country. And so the Most High is not ashamed for them to call him their power, because he has prepared a city for them. It was faith that made Abraham offer his son Isaac as a sacrifice when the Most High put Abraham to the test. Abraham was the one who, when the Most High had made the promises, yet he was ready to offer his only son as a sacrifice. The Most High said to him, "It is to Isaac that you will have descendants, I promised." As Abraham reckoned that the Most High was able to raise Isaac from death, and so to speak, Abraham did receive Isaiah back from death. It was faith that made Isaac promise. It was faith that Isaac promised blessings for the future to Jacob and Esau. It was faith that made Jacob bless each one of his sons, Joseph, just before he died. Back to 21. It was faith that made Jacob bless each one of the sons of Joseph just before he died. He leaned on the top of his walking stick and worshiped the Most High. It was faith that made Joseph, when he was about to die, speak of the departure of the Israelites from Egypt and leave instructions about what should be done with his body. It was his faith that made the parents of Moses hide him for 3 months after he was born. They saw that he was a beautiful child, and they were not afraid to disobey the king's order. It was faith that made Moses, when he grew up, refuse to be called the son of the king's daughter. He preferred to suffer. With the Most High's people rather than to enjoy sin for a little while. He reckoned that he had to suffer scorn for the Messiah was worth far more than all the treasures of Egypt. For he kept his eyes on the future award. It was faith that made Moses leave Egypt without being afraid of the king's anger, as though he saw an invisible power. He refused to turn back. It was faith that made him establish the Passover and order the blood to be sprinkled on the doors so that the angel of death would not kill the firstborn sons of the Israelites. It was faith that made the Israelites able to cross the sea as if on dry land. When the Egyptians tried to do it, the water swallowed them up. So it was faith that made the walls of Jericho fall down after the Israelites had marched around them for 7 days. It was faith that kept the prostitute Rahab from being killed, with those who disobeyed the Most High, for she gave the Israelite spies a friendly welcome. Should I go on? There isn't enough time to speak of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, David, Samuel, and the prophets. Through faith, they fought whole countries and won. They did what was right and received what the Most High had promised. They shut the mouths of lions, put out pierced fires, escaped being killed by the sword. They were weak, but became strong. They were mighty in battle and defeated the armies of foreigners. Through faith, women received their dead relatives raised back to life. Others refused to accept freedom, died under torture in order to be raised to a better life. Some were mocked and whipped, and others were put in chains and taken off to prison. They were stoned. They were sawed in two. They were killed by the sword. They went around clothed clothed in skins of sheep or goats, poor, persecuted, and mistreated. The world has not, it's like the world was not good enough for them. They wanted like refugees in the deserts and hills, living in caves and holes in the ground. What a record all of these have won by their faith. Yet they did not receive what God had promised, because the Most High had decided on an even better plan for us. His purpose was that only in company with us would they be made perfect. And that's a beautiful, beautiful precept, group of precepts, beautiful chapter. And it displays the faith that we need to believe in, because we are not saved by the law, we're saved by faith. And as a Hebrew Israelite, I mean, when you read that and acknowledge that the Lord wrote that for you, or He sent the Spirit of this prophecy through His prophet to write that, is just, I mean, I can't explain it, But I just wanted to read that and share it with you because, that's why we're here. The elder it was a question and answer session, and one of the questions that someone asked him was, how can you tell if you're a prophet or a teacher? And I never really asked questions because I usually somebody already asked the question, I assumed, or I grow into the answer myself. But what I like to think of myself without leaning on my own understanding, and which is what I truly do, is I lean on the word through the prophets, through the men of the Lord, and I cling to them for my learning. One day I might find myself not leaning so much on them, but joining in synchronicity with them. Until that day, I just lean on them for my edification. Only great millstone has been, in my mind, they teach the 100% truth. Everything they teach comes out of the scriptures, and if it's something that doesn't fit, somebody will catch it and they make corrections, and that's what we need, not hiding, not ego trips. It's amazing how some of these other camps are so off. There would be a time when I would be thinking, how can that be? But this is the end times. The scripture said that it would be. So that answers that question. It's just a scary thought that, not any of us could have been like that, because none of us know if we are the elect. We just know that we have the Spirit. The Spirit tells me that I'm one of the elect. And that's why I hope that that's true. But I don't know. I pray that the Lord grant me that. I pray that I'm of the elect of Israel. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed reading it. So I'm going to say shalom. And Kwame Yashala and Abba. Until the next time. Okay. Shalom.